In this video series I want to take a look at the DearCry ransomware, just a brief look. I am here at the website of Palo Alto Networks, and this article is from yesterday as I'm recording this video, so it's pretty recent. So just to give you a little bit of context, there was a zero-day vulnerability discovered in Microsoft Exchange mail servers, and as of now, some patches have been released by Microsoft, but as it says here, adversaries are still attacking vulnerable versions with malicious tools, malware, and data exfiltration. Now, this malware surfaced a couple of days ago, so it's actually pretty recent as of now. As you can see here, it says it uses AES 256 and RSA 2048 to encrypt victim files. And it also adds this DearCry exclamation mark, as you can see here, to file headers. There's a ransom note, of course. You have to send this hash. That is probably going to be a fingerprint for the PC that is infected to these email addresses, or one of them, to be able to pay your ransom and get your files back. Now it says here, DearCry runs as a service called MS Update, and these here are the file extensions that are targeted as of this time with the sample. Also, the .crypt extension is added to infected files, as you can see here. So now I'm here at my trusty Windows XP virtual machine, and I have a DearCry sample here. So I'm just going to check if all my shared folders are disconnected before running this. Yep, they're disconnected. And I'm so scared I even disabled my shared clipboard and my drag and drop. So let's run this and see what happens. And as you can see, this ransomware seems to be working very well. There's also this message here, this readme. Let's click on that, and now we have the encrypted files. And that's it. So these are some samples that we can actually use. I will just open this. Okay, nothing works here. And as you can see, here's the DearCry extension, and everything is encrypted. Alright, now that we saw the malware in action, let's take a look inside with Ghidra. Good, so I've loaded this file into Ghidra, and I am here at the entry function. Now, I looked at this yesterday, and I already made some annotations to it, so it's easier to read. Now, oftentimes it's a little bit hard to find the main. In this case it was pretty easy, and I just found the main down here. So I annotated it, and if we jump in, we can see that there is this service table entry struct that is filled with this MS update and the service process. And then here, this dispatcher is invoked for the service entry. Here is a function pointer for the service main function. And in this there is this what I annotated as main routine, and this main routine can also be found here in the main. So let's just go here and have a look at what this does. Alright, now so for the main. When I first came in here, I immediately saw this ransom note that is put together. Now you can see here there is this annotation I made, ransom email. This actually points to the email addresses that are put in the ransom note, and they are hard-coded. Next, there is this what I know from the ransom note must be the hash value, so I called it suspected hash value. I couldn't find anything here, so I knew this had to be calculated somewhere. I looked at the cross references and found out it's calculated in this function here. I just call it crypto calculation. And if I now jump back to the main, you can see this calculation is done up here. And in the line before the return, this suspected hash value gets a value assigned, so I assumed this here must be the hash value. So up here in crypto calculation, right at the beginning, you can see this string begin RSAPK as I renamed it. And if you jump to the string in question, then you come down here and immediately you can see if you hover over this, that this is an RSA public key hard-coded into the ransomware. So now that I found some cryptographic calculations, I wondered from what library do they come from? Because the attackers would probably use some kind of predefined library for their crypto. And because this malware is named DearCry, I thought of WannaCry. And WannaCry, as far as I know, used the Windows API for encryption. So what I did here was I just extracted the strings from the malware sample and piped this to the strings.out. And here I just searched for crypto. And immediately all of these strings came up. And these are all files that are contained in OpenSSL. And I confirmed this just by downloading OpenSSL from GitHub. So the malware authors are actually using OpenSSL for their crypto here. And what I also found was this string. That's also kind of interesting with this Visual Studio 2008. Of course, this could also be some kind of an indicator that might be useful later.